Western men versus Thai culture, and where it all goes wrong. There seems to be a pattern that repeats itself. Western men come to Thailand expecting one version of reality, and Thailand quietly operates on a completely different one. And neither side is necessarily wrong, but both sides absolutely believe they are. That's where things start to fall apart. On the surface, it looks simple. Men travel, meet Thai women, relationships happen, culture differences appear. But underneath that, it's not just about dating, it's about expectation, identity, communication, and two completely different ways of seeing the world colliding in real time. And when that collision happens, it doesn't always explode immediately. Sometimes it starts as confusion, then frustration, then misunderstanding, and finally disappointment on both sides. So in this video, we're zooming out, not blaming, not attacking, just breaking down why Western expectations and Thai cultural reality often don't align, where misunderstandings actually come from, and why both sides genuinely think they're doing the right thing. Because once you understand that, the whole picture changes. Now, the first thing to understand is simple. Western culture and Thai culture don't just differ in lifestyle, they differ in foundation. Western dating culture is heavily based on individual choice, direct communication, emotional transparency, personal independence. If something feels wrong, you say it. If you want something, you ask for it. If you're unhappy, you address it directly. Now contrast that with Thai culture, where harmony is prioritized over confrontation, indirect communication is normal, saving face matters deeply, emotional expression is often more subtle, family and social expectations play a much bigger role. So when these two systems meet, you don't just get differences, you get misinterpretation. For example, a Western man might think silence means something is wrong. A Thai partner might think silence is just peace. A Western man might think directness is honesty. A Thai partner might experience it as confrontation or pressure. Neither is wrong, but both are operating from completely different assumptions, and nobody explains this part at the very beginning. Expectations versus reality. This is where things start to get messy. Many Western men arrive with a mental picture of what life or relationships in Thailand might look like. Sometimes it's based on travel experiences, sometimes social media, sometimes stories from friends, and sometimes, let's be honest, fantasy fills in the gaps where information is missing. The expectation might look like easier relationships, less emotional complexity, clear traditional roles, more appreciation and warmth, simplicity compared to Western dating. But reality is more layered. Thailand is not a simple dating environment, it's just a different one. Relationships can involve family obligations that aren't immediately visible at first, financial expectations that vary widely depending on context, cultural norms about support and responsibility, communication styles that require interpretation, not just words. And here's where frustration often builds. When expectations don't match reality, people don't usually adjust their expectations first. They question the reality. That's where misunderstandings become personal. So what was different culture becomes she's acting strange, or he doesn't understand me, or even worse, this must be fake, when in truth it's just misaligned assumptions from the very beginning. Now, if there is one single point where most problems start, it's communication. In Western culture, communication is often explicit. Say it directly, clarify everything, don't leave room for guessing. In Thai culture, communication can often be context-based, indirect, situational, emotion, aware. So imagine this. A Western man asks a direct question, expecting a direct answer. The Thai response might be polite, softened, or intentionally indirect to avoid discomfort or conflict. The Western interpretation might be, that is not clear. The Thai intention might be, I don't want to create tension. Both are trying to do the right thing according to their cultural logic, but the result is always confusion. And over time, if neither side adjusts their communication style, both start filling in the blanks with assumptions. And assumptions are where relationships quietly start to break. Because once you start interpreting instead of understanding, you're no longer reacting to reality, you're acting to your own version of it. Now, why both sides think they are right. This is the part people usually miss. Western men often believe I'm being logical, honest, and clear. Thai partners often believe I'm being respectful, considerate, and peaceful. So both sides are acting in good faith, based on completely different cultural priorities. So, for example, a Western mindset might value clarity over politeness, independence over interdependence, direct problem solving. A Thai mindset might value harmony over confrontation, emotional balance over blunt truth, relationship stability over individual expression in conflict. So, when conflict appears, both sides try to fix it using their own correct method. And that's where things clash again, because what one side sees as fixing the issue, the other might see as making it worse. Not because either is bad, but because they're not solving the same version of the problem. Now, let's talk about money, support, and misread signals. This topic needs to be handled carefully because it gets misunderstood a hell of a lot. In Western culture, financial independence is often expected in relationships. In Thailand, family responsibility and support structures can be more interconnected. So when Western men interpret financial conversations through a Western lens, they may misunderstand the context entirely. Sometimes support is about family obligations, cultural responsibility, long-term stability, expectations, not necessarily transactional thinking, but without understanding context, assumptions fill the gap, and assumptions, again, create conflict. She expects too much. He doesn't understand responsibility. This is being misread on both sides. The truth is usually less dramatic than people assume. It's not always manipulation. It's not always misunderstanding either. It's often just two systems interpreting support in different ways. Now, let's talk about the emotional side nobody talks about. Beyond culture, communication, and expectations, there's something more human going on. Loneliness, hope, and emotional projection. People don't just enter cross-cultural relationships logically, they enter emotionally. Western men may arrive seeking connection, stability, or a fresh start. Thai partners may be navigating their own emotional realities, family pressures, or life goals. So what happens is this. People don't just see each other as individuals. They start seeing each other as a solution to emotional needs. And when expectations don't match reality, disappointment isn't just practical, it becomes emotional. That's when misunderstandings feel personal, even when they are cultural. So, where it actually goes wrong, most problems don't come from one big mistake. They come from small misunderstandings that accumulate, assumptions instead of clarification, cultural differences treated as personal flaws, expectations left unspoken, communication styles misread repeatedly, and over time, both sides start feeling misunderstood, undervalued, or frustrated that the other just doesn't get it. But the real truth is way much simpler. They're not speaking the same cultural language, even when the conversation is in English. So, with all this being said, how could it actually work? Now, despite everything, this isn't a hopeless picture. Cross-cultural relationships can absolutely work, but they require something most people underestimate: awareness, not just of the other person, but of the cultural system behind the behavior. That means asking instead of assuming, clarifying instead of interpreting, understanding intent, not just words, and accepting difference without forcing alignment. And most importantly, recognizing that different doesn't automatically mean wrong. It just means different. So, at the end of the day, Western men and Thai culture are not in conflict. People are. And most of that conflict doesn't come from bad intentions. It comes from unspoken expectations colliding with different ways of seeing the world. When you zoom out, it becomes less about blame and more about awareness. Because once you understand how much of this is cultural rather than personal, you stop reacting emotionally to confusion and start responding with clarity. And that's usually where things either improve or fall apart properly, at least honestly, this time. Either way, you finally see what's actually happening, and that changes everything. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and get ready for the next video. Take care, and ciao for now. Bye-bye.
The sauce?
Yeah. So one more spoon. So that's your spoon, and
Thank you, Charlotte.
so.
Ooh.